supersets. And now I'm going to teach you about supersets. As I said before, there are two different types of supersets, antagonist and agonist. And antagonist supersets means that you are combining two different sets of two different exercises that do equal and opposite movement patterns. So for instance, doing one push and one pull, or one curl and one tricep extension. Okay, so that is an antagonist superset. An agonist superset is combining two different exercises that work the same exact muscle. So of the two different types of supersets, so when it comes to these two different types of supersets, while they are both equally worth doing for different reasons, and they both have their trade-offs, agonist supersets are generally more intense. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you about first. And I'm going to give you another list of optimal exercises for doing agonist supersets with. Starting again with the back, we have a pull down and horizontal row superset, a pull up and back extension superset, a close and wide grip pull down superset, a lat targeted row, and then a upper back targeted row superset. And then for chest, an incline and decline press set, weighted dips and suspension strap dips superset, push up and fly superset, and a upward cable crossover and downward cable crossover superset. And then for arms, we have a barbell curl with the arm and elbow in front, and then a drag curl superset, just like I just taught you about with the mechanical drop set. And a mechanical drop set, when you're technically doing two separate exercises, is technically a type of superset. And then you have a seated overhead dumbbell extension combined with a laying dumbbell extension, an incline bench dumbbell curl with a spider dumbbell curl, and a cable kickback and overhead extension. For delts, you have a overhead press and upright row. And for legs, there's a leg press and quad extension set, a leg press and calf raise set, combining any two types of lunges together and doing a stiff-legged deadlift and calf raise set. And then for the core, that's perhaps the easiest thing to do supersets of. You got crunches and scissor kicks, twists and reverse sit-ups, twists and hip thrusts, crunches and leg ups, decline sit-ups and twists, V's and twists, and toe touches and twists. So those are all of the agonist supersets. Now on to the antagonist supersets, which, while they may not be as intense as the agonist supersets, they are more ergonomical, and they also can work out two muscles about equally and give you a really great metabolic workout in doing so, and they're more balanced. So just because the agonist supersets are more intense doesn't necessarily make them better. All right, each one has their trade-offs. So first, let's talk about push-pull antagonist supersets. First is machine rows and machine bench press supersets. Second is assisted pull-ups and assisted dip supersets. Third is assisted pull-ups and overhead press superset. Fourth is downward rows and cable crossover press. And then last is face pulls and pull overs. That's an interesting one. Next, let's talk about upper-lower supersets. First is a chin-up and wall sit superset. Second is a bodyweight squat and inverted row set. Third is a lunge and pullover set. And fourth is a leg press and dumbbell bench press set. Next, on to legs. We have a leg press and hamstring curl superset, quad extension and hamstring curl superset, one of my favorites. The hip adduction and abduction superset, something you should probably always do together. I always do. The single leg deadlift and squat superset. Again, two things that always go together. It's always good to do single leg deadlift before doing squats to get your hips prepped. And then lastly, the stiff-legged deadlift, or the good morning, and the quad extension, since they work opposite sides of the legs. Next, on to delts. We have the overhead press and rear delt row superset, the front raise and reverse pec deck set, and then the Arnold press and face pull superset. Then on to arms. There's the incline bench curl and overhead tricep extension superset. So you're combining two opposite arm motions that both focus on the stretch in that one. And then you have the preacher machine curl and cable kickback superset, where you're doing the opposite. You're combining two opposite motions that focus on the contraction. And then we can't forget forearms. Something you should always do together is supinated and pronated grip forearm curls. And then lastly, your core. We got reverse crunches and hip thrusts, crunches and cable pull-throughs, leg ups and back extensions, ab machine and low back machine, toe touches and V's, and alternating toe touches, and side sit-ups. So those are all of the examples that are optimal for doing supersets with. And as you train and master exercises and program sessions in different ways so that you are pairing up different exercises next to each other, that is how you're going to find other exercises that are optimal for doing supersets with as well. And what you can do with these antagonist supersets is to make a whole routine out of them so that they become a whole entire session of alternating sets, which gives you a very intense metabolic workout for massive sarcoplasmic hypertrophy plus a cardio component, which is exactly what is done in high intensity interval training, which is a very effective form of training that Dorian Yates, one of the best bodybuilders of all time, swears by, and I myself also swear by. Most of my training consists of sessions of alternating sets or interval training. So doing lots of antagonist supersets or an entire workout of them is a really great way of increasing intensity that I highly recommend.